Hello, we are Daniel from Brazil, Stella from Germany, and I'm our Border Collie Bonnie. We moved from the heart of Berlin all the way to the beautiful north of Portugal. We got this amazing 1.2 hectares of land with an old ruin right by the river. We are going to share our experience of living in a tiny house and the whole process of turning this beautiful place in our home. Starting from scratch, we are diving into manual work, gardening, having some farm animals and any other task you can imagine. Trying to spend more time away from the computer screens. We are all about learning by doing, sharing our successes, fails, and the fun moments with you. Hello! This is our very first slip over the land, so we decided to take the chance of this amazing Portuguese weather to actually car camp there. You're gonna see here the landscape of Portugal. It's funny that sometimes Google Maps ended up sending us to some funny place. As you can see, there's like this very weird stone bridge without any sort of protection or no, but yeah, no big deal there. It's just go slow and it's all good. The nature, it's full of water and rivers everywhere. We're expecting around 31 degrees during the day today and around 10 degrees during the night. Arriving at the land, we can already hear the river. It's such a nice feeling. It's also great to see the nature. It's always changing whenever you arrive there. From time to time, the grass is really tall. We need to be a bit careful with the car to make sure we're not crashing anywhere. As you can see, it's just so nice to have the river next to us.
What I just love about this place is that one side of the land is just the river. And it doesn't matter where we go, it always looks different and we find new spots we enjoy and so beautiful, so nice. I'm really excited how it will be when we're living there, and I really do enjoy the river and the look on it.
There's so much green and water and nature. It's really nice to see how the land is different times of the year. It really changed a lot. Now the water flow in this day is still fairly okay. Definitely not super strong as it was one of the rainy days, but still there's plenty of water and the vegetation is quite green. Our first time car camping, so we bought some things at the Decathlon, some of these mattresses that it can easily pump, and we tried to figure out how would be the best setup to sleep in the car. We didn't have any tent back in the days. We tried to do a quick test drive to see if it would be a good fit or not, but we later figured out that we're not super well established there because the car was not very leveled. We eventually had to move the car around and find a better place to sleep. Once we were ready with the camping setup, or more or less ready for that day, started to play a bit more with Bonnie. She was still full of energy, so we really want to run around, swim in a lake and do Bonnie stuff. I also started to collect some of stones to make some sort of campfire for us, cook our meals and also be around when it's cold, dark. That was the place. Our freezer was right there, so we got our wine, our beer and other drinks. The water's really cold, so it keeps the things quite fresh.
You can see Bonnie in her element. She is very focused on the stick, ready to go, ready to jump, just waiting for the final throw. Playing with the stick is Bonnie's favorite play, and especially when she needs to fetch it from the river. She loves it. She played that day so much that she was shivering and we needed to force her to stay in the sun, to warm up a bit. She doesn't get exhausted at all.
And as you can see here, once we started to prepare the lunch or whatever we're gonna eat now, and we cannot really pay attention to Bonnie anymore, she started to hunt the lizards, which is really not nice, but she kind of a very bad hunter anyway, so it's not that she's killing all of the animals, it's just a very poor job from her side. As you can see, even hyping her up quite a lot and pointing and try to get her a bit more engaged and then pay attention to it. She cannot really hunt anything, so we're like pointing at the lizard and cannot really kill. She's completely lost. I think that the shadows is the animal. It's just all over the place. And of course, there's also some cuddling time after the napping. So she always comes to us in a very relaxed, cute way to get some pets, to wake up a bit, to get some stretch, and then back to the sticks, back to the river, back to the game. This is something that annoys me quite a lot in the land, because there's some plants which are very, very, very spiky, and I forgot about it. So I had my sandals on, and then it's just kind of painful because the spikes just go all over the place, and it's not great. I'm probably gonna do something about it. Maybe, of course, we don't need to clean up the whole land, but at least the parts we walk around, definitely. And yes, Bonnie doesn't feel anything. It's not a problem for her, but more for us. It started to get dark, so we had to prepare the fireplace so we could cook the rest of the food and also just sit around and hang out there in a warm place. I think we bought the firewood in a gas station or something. On the other hand, Bonnie also liked the firewood quite a lot. So it was one for the fire, one for Bonnie. She would destroy them, and everybody would have fun at the same time.
In the end, we managed to make a quite nice fire, so we could prepare our amazing food. I think we just ate some canned noodles or some instant noodles. It was very basic, but it was actually a nice dinner. We were just sitting next to the river, talking, enjoying the rest of the day.
It got dark and cold quite fast, so we pretty much just finished to wrap it up, the things what we're doing, so eating, and we started to plan how it's going to be the first night sleeping there in the car, right? Had some place with Bonnie. We got this nice headlights, very, very, very handy. Highly recommend to buy these things. It was super, super pitch dark there camping, so it was very hard to go around. Also, if you see, full of stones everywhere, so it's not so easy to walk, and when it's dark it's pretty much impossible without very hard. Quick vlog for the internet. We slept like shit.
The green area full of dew, I think is how you call it. Yeah, but then we needed to go to the city because we planned really, really shitty and we didn't pack enough food. So
we had to buy some groceries. So for the day, what we would eat, what we would do. We already had a plan of what to do. So we wanted to do some path towards the river with all of the stones. So it would be a nice physical activity to do. So keep us warm because it was very, very, very cold. This is like the cafe, quite close, like roughly 10 minutes from the land. That's more or less the work done. It was nice and fun to do it. Although we have been to the land already, and this path, it's more or less destroyed because the river kind of washed it up. Just really nice. And again, as always, Bonnie in the play.
Our second mission was to remove the plastic next to the river. It's full of rubbish. I think it's from the time when the river is full of water that brings the rubbish from the neighborhood. Bonnie was helping with this mission, always a companion, always on the side, always ready to go. And the water in the river was so cold. I know it looks really warm in the video, but it was not. The mission was successful. I got the plastic, very happy. There's actually another one we need to take care of.
There was a small accident here where Bonnie ended up being tracked by the small waterfall, but of course no big deal for her. She's a tank, no trauma whatsoever, no fear. She actually, I wouldn't be surprised if she liked this kind of things a bit more rough, More or less end of the weekend now, so we had to drive all the way back home. Still need to work a bit just to prepare the week. So what to do or not to do, just to have a fresh mind. It's still roughly 2 hours car drive. We still need to unpack everything, so it takes quite a lot of time. So we wanted to enjoy a bit of the daylight still and go back home. And this time I let Bonnie go. It was a bit still wet and I wanted to make sure she would dry a bit. At least it's not a lot, like roughly 400 meters. So it's just a bit more so she can run and be dry before I jump into the car.
If you're living close by or doing a similar project, please let us know in the comments. We would be happy to meet up and to exchange experiences. Cheers.
And that was it. See you next time.